Hello everyone, again this is Shikha and I greet you from the world of technical cloud knowledge. And I hope you all are doing great. So I'm back with another lecture on Linux. So this one is the lecture number 12 of our Linux series. Yeah, let's continue with the part 2 of history command. And let me tell you one more thing which is as important as the lecture, that the whole lecture is based on practical today. So yeah, let's continue the lecture, and before beginning the lecture let me introduce what are the topics which I'm going to cover today. So the discussion of the topics would be some relevant interview question on history command, as well as if you have remembered that on my previous lecture I have told you that how you can execute the commands in a temporary way. So today we will going to execute the commands in a permanent way. So let's begin the lecture, and in order to avoid missing any necessary point regarding history command, you need to watch the video until the end. So let's begin the lecture first, and today we will going to dig in with the interview question first. Okay, so basically what happens in an interview, many interviewers have been asked this question regarding history command, that the question would be, where does the history command is being stored in Linux? So let me write it there as well. So the question is, where does the history command is being stored in Linux? So in order to answer this question, let's understand this first. Suppose there are two servers, okay, and I have logged in the terminal in both the servers. In first server, I have logged in the terminal through the root user, whereas if I talk about the second server, I have logged in the terminal in the second server through the normal user. And we all know, whenever these users, even if it is the root user or the normal user, when they log in the terminal, they will first come to their home directory. So when the root user open the terminal, under the / there is a directory called root's home directory, root user's home directory. So under the / there is a directory called root, which is the root user home directory, and under this directory there is a file named .bash _ history. So under this file, all the data, all the commands history which the root user have been executed on the terminal previously, all the data would be saved under this file. So that's how the history command is being stored in Linux. And it similar goes with the normal user too. Suppose when the normal user open the terminal, it will first come to its home directory, which is under home. Okay, so under the home directory there is username's home directory. Suppose if I am the normal user, so under the home directory, my directory would be Shikha. So this one is my home directory, and under this directory there is a file called .bash _ history. So under this file, all the data or all the commands which I have executed on the terminal would save under this file. So that's how it happens. If someone asks you this question, so you need to answer that. Basically, it depends on the user's account through which you are logged in the terminal. If you are logged in the terminal through the root user, then under your home directory there is a file called .bash _ history, and under this file all the commands history would be saved. So let's do it with the practical also. Let's open the VMware workstation, and here we need to open the terminal. So, first we will going to execute some commands. So as you can see, I have executed these commands: pwd, ls, date, time date, ctl. All the commands have been coming into my history list. Now if I want to check that the commands which I have executed yet is saved under that file which is .bash underscore history or not. So for that you need to read the file. You need to first check the file, that the file has been created or not. So for that we need to run the command l dot. Basically, L dot refers to the hidden directories or the files. L for listing the content, and dot is referring to the hidden content or the hidden directories or the file. As you can see, under this content, all the files or the directory which is coming along with there before there is dot, which referring that they all are in a hidden mode. So that's why we use L dot to list the content which is in hidden mode. So as you can see, the file .bash underscore history is not created yet. So for that, first we need to exit the terminal. Basically what happens when we first log in the terminal, we need to execute some commands, and thereafter we need to exit the terminal to create the file which is .bash underscore history, and then after it will automatically create it. Okay, so for that we need to exit the terminal. Then again open the terminal. So now when you check it again, so as you can see now .bash underscore history file has been created. So that's how the file will be created. Okay, now if I want to read that file, so for that we need to run the command cat. Basically we will going to cover the cat command in the further lectures. So right now you just need to understand that we are using the cat command along with the file to read that file. So let's run the command cat .bash underscore history. So as you can see, the commands which I have executed yet all are saved under this file which is cat.bash underscore history. So that's how the history command is saved under Linux. So I hope you are clear with that question. Now let's come to the interface again. Okay, so my next question is that Suppose there are two terminals, okay, and I have execute 5 commands on the first terminal and 10 commands on the second terminal. Now all the commands which I have executed yet all are saved under that file which is .bash underscore history. So all the commands which I have executed on both the terminals will be saved under that file called .bash underscore history. So basically what happens if I run 5 commands on the first terminal? To save these commands, I need to exit the terminal so that these commands would be saved under this file which is .bash underscore history. And then after I will get the output in the second terminal. But if I forget to exit the terminal, then the commands which I have executed will not save under the file, and then after I will not get the output in second terminal. So it is really necessary to exit the terminal first. Okay. Let's open the VMware workstation to do so. Let's open to terminal. So we will going to run few commands on the first terminal. Okay, then we will get the output on the second terminal. So let's run ls command. Okay, now I have run the ls command. Now to check it in the history list. Okay, so the ls command which I have executed yet is coming into my history list. Let's check in that is the command is coming into the file called .bash underscore history or not. So for that we need to run the command cat .bash underscore history. So the command which I have executed is not coming yet on my file called .bash underscore history. So for that I need to exit the terminal first. So again open the terminal. Then when you check it, you will be able to find the file. Okay. So See, ls command which I have executed is now saved under that file. Now I will get the output on the second terminal. So for that, first we need to refresh the terminal and then we will run the history command. So as you can see, the ls command which we have executed on the first terminal, we are able to see in the second terminal too. So that's how the process will work. Now, most of the people don't want to exit the terminal again and again. So what kind of the easy option they can do instead of exit the terminal again and again, they can use another option, which is they can use history-a. They can run this command so that we don't need to exit the terminal again and again, and the commands which we have executed will automatically saved under that file called .bash underscore history. Okay, so that's how we do so. Now let's do it as well. Okay, suppose I am running the command date. Okay, now I am not going to exit the terminal. I am just going to execute this command, which is history-a. Okay, and thereafter I'm going to run the command cat.bash underscore history to check that the command which I have run right now, which is date command, is that command is saved under that file or not. Okay, so as you can see, the date command has been saved. Now I will get the output on the second terminal too. Refresh the terminal, then run history command. Okay, so as you can see, the date command is showing on the 16th number. So that's how we will do so. That's how the process will work. But most of the people also have a query that they don't want to run the command history-a again and again. They want another easy option regarding of like executing the history-a command again and again. Now there is another easy option for that as well. Basically we are doing the permanent setting, sorry, a temporary setting. Now if we do the permanent setting, so that we don't need to run the command again and again, which is history-a, or we don't need to exit the terminal again and again. So for that, for doing the permanent setting, we will first come to the .bash rc file, which come under l dot. Let's do l dot. Here we will able to get this file, which is .bash rc. Here we need to enter this file and then we can do the permanent setting. So for the permanent setting, we need to write this syntax. Okay, and the syntax should be correct. So the syntax is export caps prompt underscore command equals to under inverted comma in small history hyphen a. Okay, so this is the syntax. Okay, so this is the syntax which we have to do with the permanent, along with the permanent setting. Okay, so do that. Let's do it. Let's go to the VMware workstation. Come to that, enter the file. For that you need to run the command vim.bashrc. Okay, here you need to press O to enter. Wait. First, wait. So come under that file called vim.bashrc. Okay, just you need to come down here. You need to press O. Okay, and here you need to write that syntax which I have told you. Yet export in capital prompt along with underscore command. Okay, and then equals to under the double inverted comma you need to write history space hyphen a and then inverted comma close, and then press escape, and after that shift along with colon to save the file. So that's how we will do the permanent setting. So now let's exit the terminal first, then open the terminal again. Open the terminal again. Okay, Now we will going to run some of the commands, like I am running the command ls. Now I'm not going to save that command. Okay, I'm just going to uh, refresh my second terminal, and then I'm going to run history. So that's how we will do so. Okay, the ls command which is showing I have execute yet on the first terminal. Now I haven't saved the command, I haven't run the command history -a, or I haven't exit the terminal. That's how we can do the permanent setting. Okay, now I think you all are clear with that much as well. So if you have remember that on my previous lecture, I have executed the commands, the basic commands of history in a temporary way. The first one is that how to display date and time. So let's do it in a permanent way too. Okay. So open the VMware workstation. Here, let's do it in the temporary way first. Then we will do the permanent way. So you need to write the syntax. For that, you need to write the syntax export hist time format. Okay. Equals to under the inverted comma. Write this. Then inverted comma close. Okay, then just run the history command to show the format like that, like the year, day, minute, second. You want the output like that, you will run this command. Okay, so as you can see, the year, date, time, minute, seconds, that's how the format will work. Okay, if I exit the terminal, it will again come to its previous condition. Okay, so suppose if I would run the command pwd. Okay, and then I will do run the command history. Then as you can see, I will again get the previous condition output. But if I want to do the permanent setting, we will again go to the vim.bashrc file. Okay, here we will going to do the setting in the second line. Just press O and then write export the syntax which was written for the temporary setting. We will also again do the setting in a permanent way with the same syntax. Okay, you need to write export along with his time format. Okay, let's check that the syntax is correct or not. Okay, along with under the inverted comma, uh, you need to write Y for year, D for date, M for minute, and then for second. Close the terminal, inverted comma, and then just come down, escape, shift along with semicolon, escape, shift along with semicolon, write WQ exclamation, and then save the file. Okay, then exit the terminal. Again, open the terminal. Here you need to, suppose if you are running the command date. Okay, now let's check the history, what kind of output we will get. As you can see, that's how we will do the permanent setting to display date and time. Now if I want to ignore duplicate entries, as you have remember that on my previous lecture I have also done the duplicate entries. Like if we want to ignore the duplicate entries, suppose I am running pwd command again and again. Okay, pwd. Okay, and when I do history, so it will show me only one time. Okay, but I have run 4 times. So basically what happens, it will show me the variable. We have to do the setting to the variable. So for that we need to check first what is our hist control setting. Run this command. Okay, so as you can see, your hist control is ignore dubs, which is ignoring the duplicate entries. The commands which you have executed like more than one time, then that's why it is showing only one time. So we have to remove this setting. So for that we need to run unset hist control. Okay, and when we again check what is our variable setting, then we'll get the output. So now the setting has been removed. So that's how we will unset the setting. Now if I want to check, like if I run like as you can see, if I run pwd command 5 times, then what kind of output would I get for that? Wait. So as you can see, I have run the pwd command 1 to 5 times. Okay, now let's check what kind of output we will get after that. So that's how we will unset the his control setting. And if I want to again do that, like if I have run pwd command many times, but I want that the command would be shown only at one time in my history list. So for that, we will again do the variable setting. We will ignore the duplicate entries, and for that we will do the setting by running this command hist control, okay, equals to under inverted comma write ignore dubs, which will ignore the duplicate entry. Okay, now when you run, so like if I run ls command 3 times, what is the output will I get for that? So it will showing me only at one time. So that's how we will set or unset the duplicate entries in the history list. Okay, that's how we will set or unset the hist control setting. It is for the only the temporary way. When I exit the terminal, it will again come to its previous condition. But I want to do it in a permanent way. So for that, again, let's come to the vim.bashrc file. Okay, and here you need to do the setting. Press O, write export hist control under the inverted commas ignore dubs. Okay, it will ignore the duplicate entries. Just press escape and then shift along with colon wq exclamation and then save the file. Now when you do so, like then again history only one time. So that's how we will do the permanent setting. And the last command which I'm going to execute to do the permanent setting is that suppose if I have executed the command many times, okay, but I don't want that command would be included in my history list. I don't want the inclusion of that command in my history list. So what I will do, I will use space wide character along with that before that command. Suppose if I am running ls command, okay, not let's do run time date ctl command along with space, time date ctl without space. Okay, now let's run history. So as you can see, both the commands along with space but without the space, both the commands is showing in my history list. But I only want that the command without the space is come into my history list. Along with the space, this command will not include in my history list. I want to remove this type of command which come with the space. So for that, we will first do the temporary setting. So for that, we will just run this command hist control, okay, equals to under inverted comma you need to write ignore space. Okay, and then when you run, so along with the space and then run execute history command. So that's how it will not show, it will not come into my history list. And this is the temporary setting. When I do the permanent setting, let's again come to the vim.bashrc file. Okay, here you need to press O and then here you need to do the permanent setting. Just do it. Okay, space. Okay, close the inverted comma, escape, then shift along with colon wq exclamation, save the file. So that's how we will do the permanent setting. Let's again run the command without space. First exit the terminal to check that the permanent setting has been done or not. New window. Let's run the command along with space, then history. So that's how the command is not coming into my history list because I have used the space wide character. So that's how we execute the commands in a permanent way. So if you want to delete whole history, you need to run the command history hyphen See, okay, so that's how you will clear all the history. Let's clear it and check the history list. So that's how we will do so. So I think you are able to understand this lecture very well, and you are clear with your interview question as well. So this is the lecture, and we will meet soon with the another important lecture on Linux. Until then, keep learning and keep watching and keep supporting technical cloud knowledge. And yeah, stay connected with us, and thanks for watching.